1. Bondi Beach, a picture-perfect beach with sun, sand and sea. Bondi Beach is where all of Sydney goes to relax. The languidly sweeping crescent of white sand has made Bondi one of Australia's most iconic beaches. A people-watching paradise, Bondi's emerald waves exert a magnetic pull on surfers and hedonistic sun worshippers alike. Nearby, dowdy locals swim year-round in the iceberg's ocean pool, while walkers looking for a good hike in Sydney make a beeline for the dramatic cliff-top Bondi to Coogee Coastal Walk. With its dramatic scenery and annual sculpture by the Sea Art installations, best time to visit, spring and summer, from September to February, for fabulous sunshine, blue skies, and sublime surf. View all Sydney tours. 2. Sydney Opera House, the iconic Sydney Opera House. If you are wondering where to go in Sydney, start with the iconic Sydney Opera House. Truly one of the world's architectural marvels, it tops the list of things to see while taking a trip to Australia. Danish architect Jørn Knudsen's inspired design created a world-class performing arts complex set against the Sydney Harbour seascape. As you explore this architectural masterpiece, you will discover the history and colourful stories that are Sydney's UNESCO World Heritage Piece de Resistance. Best time to visit, Sydney Opera House is an ideal destination that can be visited at any time of the day throughout the year. 3. Sydney Harbour Bridge, take a bridge climb to the top of Sydney Harbour Bridge and enjoy a great view of the city. To Sydneysiders, the bridge is more than an iconic landmark, it is part of their heritage and a world-renowned symbol of Australia. Affectionately known as the coat hanger, the Sydney Harbour Bridge was opened in 1932. Today, visitors can see Sydney at its best by joining a bridge climb experience, getting to the top of Sydney Harbour Bridge and experiencing one of Sydney's most photographed landmarks. As you ascend the bridge's arches, you will see an epic sweep of one of the most beautiful harbours on earth laid out before your eyes. Not a fan of heights? Walk across the bridge to get the best views of the Sydney Opera House and Circular Quay. The Sydney Harbour Bridge should definitely be on your list of top places to visit in Sydney. Best time to visit, spring, summer or early autumn to enjoy the stunning views of Sydney Harbour. 4. Taronga Zoo, one of the world's great zoos. Taronga Zoo is a short 12-minute picturesque ferry ride from Circular Quay. With over 4,000 animals to see, daily live shows and 20 keeper talks complemented by lively tours, the animals are almost upstaged by the zoo's breathtaking views of Sydney Harbour. Taronga Zoo is a must-see on any Sydney visit. You can even sleep over in the zoo's safari-style tents. Best time to visit, the zoo and the harbour views are at their best in spring and summer. 5. Art Gallery of NSW, home to a world-class collection of Australian masters spanning the early 19th century to the present, together with a treasure trove of Indigenous art connecting us to this continent's vast past. Complementing these treasures are collections of Western, Asian and Pacific art, which provide a captivating chronology of taste, style, and constantly evolving social, cultural and political values. Best time to visit, the museum is open every day except on Christmas and Good Friday. Visit the museum in the early opening hours when the museum is relatively less crowded. 6. Royal Botanic Garden. The Royal Botanic Garden is a breath of fresh air in the center of the city, the green lungs of the city center. The Royal Botanic Gardens are an oasis nestled on Sydney Harbour. Home to world-leading botanical science and stunning horticultural displays set on 30 hectares, 74 acres, the garden is a large natural amphitheatre, wrapped around the Sydney Harbour foreshore and the adjacent Sydney Opera House. It is a wonderful setting to explore the many plants on exhibition or simply enjoy the expansive lawns and greenhouses. Best time to visit, anytime. However, the gardens are at their best in spring and summer between September to February. 7. Australian National Maritime Museum, Australia's national centre for maritime collections, exhibitions, research, and archaeology. Inside the museum displays Australia's maritime history, connecting the stories, objects, and people to this island continent's seaborne narrative. Outside, visitors will discover a replica of Captain Cook's HMS Endeavour, a flotilla of preserved small ships, the ex-Navy destroyer HMAS Vampire, submarine HMAS Onslow and the patrol boat HMAS Advance. best time to visit. Visit the museum early in the morning to get enough time to view the exhibits and also take a cruise on the HMS Endeavour. 8. The Rocks. The Rocks in Sydney has some beautiful classical architecture. The Rocks is a historic neighbourhood of convict-hewn stone heritage architecture and narrow cobblestone lanes set in the shadow of Sydney Harbour Bridge. With the nearby Museum of Contemporary Art hosting local and international exhibits, The Rocks is emerging as a vibrant cultural precinct. The area is also home to some of Sydney's oldest pubs and fine dining restaurants featuring magnificent harbour views. Best time to visit. Visit The Rocks any time of the day or month for a cultural experience of Sydney. 9. Cockatoo Island. Tunnels built in the Cockatoo Island during its use as a shipbuilding site. Cockatoo Island, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is located at the confluence of the Lane Cove and Parramatta Rivers, in the beautiful Sydney Harbour. Jump on a ferry and spend the day exploring this island's rich history. A former shipbuilding site and naval base, Cockatoo Island have retained all its rich character and heritage from decades of use, spanning convicts to shipbuilders and naval personnel. Best time to visit. Anytime, but spring and summer offer the best weather for the ferry trip. 10. Sydney Harbour National Park. The humpback whale can be spotted during the annual migration from May to November. Sydney and its surrounding coastline offer many beautiful spots to watch the whales cavort on their annual migration past Australia's largest city. The scenic natural bushland also makes the national park the perfect venue for bushwalking and picnicking, or for surfing or swimming while you watch these majestic giants cruise past. Best time to visit. The whales migrate annually from May to November.